Good morning. I am 5 minutes earlier today. As always, if you're watching in recording, you're welcome to fast forward or stay with us through our hellos. I am going to check the sound now. Recording, you're welcome to. The sound seems good. Good morning, Zazu. Glad to see you live here today. Good morning, Jean. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Gina. Good morning, Sandra. All right, it is time for us to start. And today we will do another exercise, another practice designed to develop and strengthen the emo diversity within ourselves. I'll remind you that emo diversity or emo diversity, not sure how to pronounce it, is a recently invented term to describe the whole range of human emotions. We need to become emo-diverse in order to accept all parts of ourselves, to accept ourselves just the way we are. And in turn, to do that, we need to learn to welcome, to say a full yes to any and all emotions, all experiences that arise within, even if we don't like them. In fact, especially if we don't like them. Most people who come to meditation are looking for respite from what's called the monkey mind, this perpetual, hyperactive, and often self-destructive whirl of thoughts and feelings that everyone undergoes. But the truth is, and we discussed it many times, that meditation does not really eradicate mental or emotional turmoil. Rather, it cultivates the space and gentleness that allows us intimacy with our experiences so that we can relate differently to our cascade of emotions and thoughts. Developing that kind of relationship with ourselves is where freedom begins. So today we will do the RAIN practice that is specifically geared to ease emotional confusion and suffering. In a nutshell, it goes like this. When a negative or thorny feeling comes up, we just pause, remember the 4 steps cued by the acronym RAIN, and begin to pay attention to our experience in a new, more spacious way. We usually do this RAIN practice following Tara Brach's version of it, but Sharon Salzberg offers a slightly different approach. The first 3 steps of the RAIN are the same. R stands for recognizing what's happening in the moment. A is acknowledging what is without judgment, allowing life to be just the way it is. I is investigating with kind attention. The only thing that is slightly different is the last step, denoted by the letter N. In Tara Brach's version of the RAIN practice, N stands for nourishing yourself by identifying what it is you need in a moment of suffering and providing it to yourself with gentle self-empathy. In the version we're going to do today, N stands for non-identification with the experience. And this approach is also very valid and reminds us that any experience we're going through does not have to define the whole of our being. So let's do it together now. As always, take a comfortable position and take a few moments to settle. Settle into your body, your heart, your mind. Settle into this moment, right here, right now. Allow your breath to be natural. Just notice how your body breathes by itself. No struggle, allowing all the experiences of the present moment to flow through you as energy. All the physical sensations, thoughts, emotions. Treating them as not something solid, but just the energy that they are. And now bring to mind a current situation in which you may feel stuck. One that elicits a difficult reaction, such as anger, fear, shame, helplessness. It may be a conflict at work, a chronic sickness, a conversation you now regret. Whatever it is, contact this experience as much as you can in this moment. And we're going to go into the first step of RAIN. Recognize what is happening. So as you reflect on this situation, ask yourself, what is happening inside me right now? What sensations are you most aware of? What emotions? Is your mind churning with thoughts? You might say to yourself, oh, that feels like anger. And then this might be followed quickly by another thought. And I notice I'm judging myself for being angry. So whatever it is, take a moment to become aware of what is predominant right now. And then we're going to move into the second step, acknowledging what is, whatever feelings and thoughts come up, and allowing them to just be here, not pushing anything away. In other words, you give yourself permission to feel whatever it is you're feeling. Remind yourself that you simply don't have the power to declare, I should not have such hateful feelings about a friend, or I've got to be less sensitive, and bam, magically it all goes away. It doesn't work this way. So allow what is to simply be here. Maybe imagine each thought, each physical sensation, emotion, as a visitor knocking at the door of your house. They don't live here. You can greet them, acknowledge them, and then watch them go. It may be helpful to rename anger or self-judgment or whatever quote-unquote negative feelings you experience as bad or wrong. Rename them as simply painful, uncomfortable. Don't dismiss them. This is the entry into self-compassion. You can see your thoughts, you can see your emotions, you can feel your sensations in the body. And you create space for them, even if they are painful, even if they are uncomfortable. You don't take hold of your anger and fixate on it, nor do you treat it as an enemy to be suppressed or fought against. It can simply be. Welcome each visitor, each experience, by saying a full yes to it. And now we go into the third step of RAIN, investigating with a gentle, curious attention. So here's where you begin to ask questions and explore your experience with a sense of openness, curiosity. Some of the questions you might want to explore are these. What is the worst part of this experience? What most wants my attention now? What emotions does this bring up? What are my feelings about this? Where do they reside in my body? Where do I feel them the strongest? Related to this situation, what is the most difficult, painful thing I am believing about myself? And instead of logically thinking about what's going on, keep bringing your attention to your body, directly contacting the felt sense of your most vulnerable place. This usually feels quite different from when we're fueled by obsessiveness or by a desire for answers or blame. There is so much freedom in allowing ourselves to cultivate curiosity and move closer to a feeling rather than away from it. Maybe you notice that many of your strong emotions are actually intricate tapestries woven of various strands. For example, anger commonly includes moments of sadness, helplessness, fear. And as we get closer to it, an uncomfortable emotion becomes less solid. We focus less on labeling the discomfort and more on gaining insight. We don't wallow, nor do we repress. We just allow things to be and investigate what's happening with a kind and curious attention. And remember, progress in this practice does not mean that the negative emotions will just stop coming up for you. It's that instead of feeling being hard as steel, it becomes kind of transparent, gauzy, available for investigation. And the final step of this version of the RAIN practice is non-identifying. So we consciously avoid being defined by a particular feeling, even as we may engage with it. In other words, feeling angry with a particular person or in a particular conversation about a particular situation does not mean you are an angry person and always will be. You allow yourself to see your own anger, your own fear, your own resentment, whatever it is there. And instead of spiraling down into judgment, oh, I'm such a terrible, worthless person, you make a gentle observation. Oh, this is a moment of suffering, and this is how it feels. This opens the door to a compassionate relationship with yourself, which is the real foundation of a compassionate relationship with others. We cannot will what thoughts and feelings arise in us, but we can recognize them as they are, often recurring, often frustrating, sometimes filled with fantasy, a lot of times painful, and always changing. By allowing ourselves this simple recognition, we begin to accept that we will never be able to control our experiences, but we can transform our relationship to them. And this changes everything. Gently let go of your practice. Scan your body. Notice what's going on for you right now, physically, emotionally, mentally. How are you, really? And as you go through your day today, I invite you to continue using the RAIN practice to meet and greet all your experiences, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. Treat them all as welcome guests in your house, but remind yourself, they don't live in your house, and at some point, they will leave. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a gorgeous day, and I will see you tomorrow.